Okay, hello. I am here today to show you a behind the scenes look at one of my real life clients and their marketing strategy, what we did to get started together as a collaboration, what we've done since, and what we're going to do in the future. So, without further ado, behind the scenes look. So, this client is Crain Custom Built Tiny Homes. And Crain has quite a backstory. So let me bring you into what's going on with this company. So Crain Custom Built Homes has been in business for over 18 years, and they were building full-scale homes, beautiful, beautiful custom homes. And they, at the beginning of this year, 2017, decided that they were going to completely stop building full-scale homes and start building just tiny homes. There's a great reason for that, and I'm going to get to that in just a second. But that's what we were facing when the owner of Crain Custom Homes came to me. That's what we were facing. We're facing essentially a brand new business coming off of a long, very, very long sustainable business. And therefore, we had to rebrand. We had to come up with a brand new marketing strategy, not taking anything into assumption that just because the first business worked, the second business will, because they're so separate. They're so different. And as you would probably imagine, the customer that was buying and interested in the full-scale home is probably not going to be interested in the tiny home. So whole reversal, whole difference in attraction and who we're targeting and how we're going to target them. And the entire process really kind of got not just marketing process, but sales process, the whole 9 yards, everything changed. So we started pretty much from ground zero. So let me pull you into that. Let me show you what we did. First of all, in this situation, this is a brand new business, right? And so we had to test the market. We decided that our short-term strategy was not to come out the gate and expecting it to work. What we decided would be smart is to come out the gate and test the market and see exactly what's going to work. Obviously knowing we're not building a brand new industry. We're not building a brand new thing that no one's ever heard of before, but it was something that we had never actually done ourselves. So we had to figure that out. Short-term strategy, test the market. So how did we do that? First of all, we needed to define the ideal client. Who is actually going to be interested in this? Who's going to meet our end goal of buying a tiny home? And after we did that, once we identified the ideal client and who we were going to be attracting, we decided that the best engagement that we could get on any platform would be through Facebook. Remember, we're testing at this point. Yes, we're marketing the business, but we're testing the waters just to see what might work, what might not. And is this thing going to work at all? Is anybody going to buy a tiny home? We don't know yet, right? We haven't tried. So we decided that we would start with Facebook, feeling that that was where we were going to get our best engagement. Then we were going to make the big announcement that we don't build full-scale homes anymore, and we're going to build tiny homes now. And then we had to develop a supporting content strategy to continue to serve that audience that we attracted through the big announcement. So let me show you how we did each of those 4 steps. First of all, I have to move my face over here. I'm too big. I don't know if I'll be able to. All right. You'll see it for the most part, I think. Oh, now I'm all over the place. Let's see there we go. Okay, this will work a lot better. Okay. Not editing that. It's okay. This is what happens when you do a video. Okay. So first of all, we had to identify the ideal client that we were going to be attracting. This is a longer process. There are many ways to do this. The way that I choose is I go through a set of questions that I answer from the assumed ideal client. We do a ton of research. We talk to people. We look at what they're asking online, and we talk to them one-on-one, and we get an idea of who they are, what they want. So once we've done all of that research, we take the time to come up with a brand statement. And this brand statement really encapsulates everything we could say about the brand in just a few sentences. And that's, some would call this a pitch. I like to call it a statement because we can use this in so many different ways. And it succinctly explains exactly what we do, but even better, why we do it. And by saying the why, we can then show people, yes, we're the company that you're looking for, or no, we're not the company you're looking for. So in short, our brand statement looked like this. Crain Custom Built Tiny Homes, a family-owned company, is the result of over 18 years designing and building full-size homes, only to find out life is often more richly lived on a smaller scale. In the name of peace, rest, and tranquility, we design and build unique, fully customizable tiny homes for individuals and small families in a world where hurried hustle and bustle and living lives of excess is the new norm. Minimize, escape, rest in your Crain Custom Built Tiny Home. Okay, so lots of stuff going on, lots of words, and that's the point of a brand statement. There has to be a lot of words because it's a business, but there can't be too many. You know, we can't go on and on and on and on saying the same thing over and over. So we really chunk it down to this. And just from that statement, I hope you got the feel that there's more to this business than just trying to sell a home. It's more than just a tiny home. There's something below there, below that surface product that we're offering that is going to mean a lot more in how we market that end product. You can see it coming out in richly lived on a smaller scale. There's something about that lifestyle of a tiny home, not just the tiny home, but the lifestyle that comes along with it. Peace, rest, and tranquility. Also, the fact that they're fully customizable. So they're not just kind of, I don't know, just frames and made one after another and looking all the same. They're all customized to the person that's buying it, which can be to our ideal customer is definitely a selling point. And minimize, escape, and rest. We're bringing that rest word back in. Minimize, that speaks to someone thinking about a tiny home. And escape, too. Escaping that hustle and bustle and living the life of excess. So all around, we've got a full statement here that can be used in many different ways. I'll show you a couple different ways that we've used it. That will attract the right people and not attract the wrong people, right? That's what we're looking for. So once we've defined that ideal customer, ideal client, and we decide, okay, Facebook is where we're going to test this market, we get on Facebook and we make the big announcement. This is what our big announcement looked like, just a kind of a screenshot for you. Very nice picture image of one of the tiny homes that they have created. It's got that minimize, escape, rest, that kind of that tagline in your Crain Custom Built Tiny Home. The logo's right there. Nice bright picture, looked great on the screen. And then we bring in a little bit of some copy, some pitch copy, explaining that, yeah, we do tiny homes now. We don't do full-scale homes anymore. Here's why. Please share this. And if you're interested, here's how you get in contact with us. That's as simple as it is. You know, but I get it. It's kind of hard to come up with those words and put it all together and make it all make sense. But this is how we did it and found great results. You'll see we had an organic reach. Let me see if I can move this. There we go. We had an organic reach of almost 6,000 people. What does organic mean? That means we didn't pay to get this post in front of anyone. It was completely organic. We just hit the publish button and it reached that many people. It was shared over 50 times, and that shows us that not only, again, we're testing the market, not only was this ad put together well. But we're also onto something. We got some traction. Like, this was a big thing for people, and they were interested in it. So that's really exciting. Now that I'm going to go back to this slide, right? We made the big announcement, but is that enough? No. Short answer, no, that's not enough. We need to support that big announcement with content, showing our prospective client, our ideal client, that we do know what we're talking about and that we get them. We understand their psyche around the idea and their interest in possibly buying a tiny home. We need to explain that. They need to, and if you've been following along, they need to know about us. They need to like us. And then they need to trust us, right? So now we're in this liking and trusting phase, now that they know that we do these tiny homes. So now we have to speak their language, and we have to show them that we do know what we're doing. So that takes us to our content strategy, which I've written about in the last couple of weeks. And this is what our content strategy ended up looking like for Crain Custom Built Tiny Homes. This is essentially a Facebook calendar. Just threw it up in a spreadsheet, identifying our pillars of content. What does our ideal client want to know about, want to hear about? And you can see that information right here under our pillars of content. There's a lifestyle piece. We have to speak their language. We have to show them that we understand what's creating this interest in tiny homes. We have to show them our portfolio, right? We have to show them that, yeah, we do know what we're doing. We build these things and they're great. And then, which can be tough when you're just starting out, but we're doing that. And then we're going to show a little bit of our personality. So again, they just feel like they can like us and trust us as a brand and as a company, but also as people. Because at the end of the day, that's what business is. It's people to people. And they have to like you to be able to feel like, yeah, I'm going to buy my home. I mean, buying a home is no small, tiny little decision, right? And especially doing it in a way that's unconventional from the rest of society. And so there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen and needs to be conveyed in this initial getting to know you phase. Just like dating, right? I say that all the time in my blog posts. It's just like dating. We have to build up some kind of reputation and be consistent with it. So that's what we're doing here with this Facebook calendar of content. This is the master look at how we're doing this. So you see 7 days a week up at the top, 4 weeks a month. And then we're using these pillars of content, these kind of overall overarching themes and topics. And we're spacing them out over the course of the month. So we always know what type of thing we're giving them, what topic we're hitting on. And then we can go in each month and decide exactly what that post is going to look like and what it's going to link to, what it's going to call them to action to. So you can see the lifestyle. We hit on minimalism, living off the grid, outdoor spaces and living. How do we do this on the road? Because a lot of people, kind of like the RV mentality. How do we do life on the road? Because I can tow my home now. So that's there. Intentional living. It's not just kind of flowing into society. It's really being intentional about how we live our life. Gardens, living off the land, and then inspiration, fun inspiration for having your own tiny home. So that's what you're going to see in green here. The blue ones are regarding our portfolio. We're going to share those at the most popular times of the week, and that tends to be Wednesday, Thursday of the week. And then we've got this personality piece that we're going to share on Fridays, also a very popular day of the week for Facebook. And then so that's our master calendar. And then we start to fill it in each and every month. We have the content pillar up at the top, and then we find different links, for each of those topics. We will fill in. The more homes we get to build, then more homes we'll get to share. And then each time we have something like an event that we might be at, or what's new at the shop, anything of that nature, we'll be able to share that where it needs to be. And this calendar, it's all it is a spreadsheet, allows us to map that out and know that we're going to provide a consistent presence for our audience. Again, showing them that they can like and trust us, and that we do what we say we're going to do, right? We're going to show up every single week, 3 to 4 times a week sometimes, consistently, and they can know that we're going to be there. So much psychology going in there, and I've talked about it a lot on the blog, so if you want to go back and read through some of that. But just, again, just like dating, if you show up when you say you're going to show up and you're consistently there, that's a good thing, right? That's really in your favor, right? Okay, so it makes the same effect, has the same effect in marketing. So that's what we do. So that's our content strategy. And then you can see once we have it planned out, then we have to put it into action. So this is just a look at our scheduled posts, just a few right now in the Crain Tiny Home Facebook page. That's how we do that. Schedule it out, because then you don't have to get in there 3 or 4 times a week. You just get in there once a month, schedule them out. It's done. And some initial traction on the page. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a little bit of a vanity metric, right? Because our end goal is not to get more likes on our Facebook page. That means nothing. I mean, you can have 14 million likes on my Facebook page and not sell a single house, right? So this is a vanity metric, but it is showing us a little bit of traction. We made the initial announcement right here on the 20th of February, and look at what happened in the days right after that big announcement. That shows us some really good data. It shows us that, okay, people are interested in this. So we started right around 460 something, and we're now at 617 likes on our page. A lot of people following it. Again, I'm being honest here, total vanity metric. That doesn't mean anything to the end revenue, but it's giving us our short-term strategy data that we needed to test the market and see, are people interested in this or no, not so much. Okay. Now we have to move into longer term strategy, right? Because we got to sell a house. Now, the selling of a house, if you've ever bought a house or thought about buying a house, if you have ever tried to sell your house, you know that this is a big decision. And again, this is not only just buying a home, this is buying a home that doesn't fit into normal society's normal picture of what buying a home looks like and having a home looks like. So again, it's kind of a difficult decision a lot of times. So not only is it a difficult decision, but it takes a long time to get to that point, right? To get to the point where like, yeah, I'm gonna take the jump. We've only been at this for about a month. We made the major announcement on February 20th, and today, right now, it's March 23rd. So it's just been a little bit over a month. And so do we know what this stuff is doing to our revenue right this second? Nope, we have no idea. But now it's time to bring in the long-term strategy that we had thought about originally and start bringing that in to build our foundation. Continue building our foundation of what we're going to do and how we're going to build this revenue up and make this a sustainable business. So long-term strategy is to develop more parts of this marketing web. We've tested the market, we've gotten some engagement on Facebook, and now we've got to do a lot more, okay? That's not going to be the end-all be-all for this company. So what does the longer-term strategy look like? We have decided that we're going to connect with influencers, bigger guys. Yes, we are a business-to-consumer company, but we could be a business-to-business company, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. And there are ways to get in front of other audiences that are interested in tiny homes, and we're going to try to do that. Just kind of spread our message, spread the fact that, hey, here we are, and here's where we're at, and give us a call kind of thing. We're also going to utilize personalized email in connecting with these influencers. And we're going to incorporate a simple, clean website to have a place to put our gallery of portfolio items and kind of just solidify ourselves as a company and as a brand. That's going to come into play down the line, but that will definitely be a huge trust factor. That you don't just have don't just have a Facebook page, but you also have a website, and it's nice, right? That says a lot. If you've ever, wanted to do business with someone and you're like, well, I just want to see their website, and all you have is the Facebook page, can kind of be a turnoff. Just like if you get to the website and it's really clunky and outdated or hard to use, also not a great way to start that relationship. So we're going to make sure that we tie it all in a pretty little bow. And that's going to be over time. It doesn't all happen at once a lot of times, which should be encouraging if you yourself are building something like this and you're trying to figure this all out. But over time, it really formulates and creates that foundation that we need to bring in the customers that we need to bring in. So here is remember, our long-term strategy is to develop more parts of that marketing web. This is a new concept for you. I've written circles around it on the blog. I talk about it all day long, it feels like. But this is what we're talking about. If you've been up to date on what I've been sharing lately, you've seen this marketing web. Online marketing platforms on top, offline on bottom. How they all interconnect will depend on your business. Everybody's marketing web is a little different. So for Crain Custom Tiny Homes, right now, we're experiencing some good traction with social media, getting some inquiries there, and also through word of mouth. Because once you announce something on social media, as we know, people start talking about it, which is the brilliance of social media, which is great. So taking advantage of word of mouth and social media, pointing them over to our customer service line where they get to speak with the owner of Crain Custom Tiny Homes. Now, the next bit, that was our first short-term strategy. The next bit of our strategy is to, again, we're going to get in front of influencers. We're going to use email to get in front of them and build that relationship. Send them to our customer service line so they can speak with the owner and the builder, and get them to purchase a tiny home. So that's exciting. Again, influencers, what we're talking about here is twofold. We're reaching out to tiny home bloggers because tiny homes is a small little niche industry, and they have one heck of a following going on. And so if you can connect with the bloggers that have that following, yay, that's great. Let's share the love here. And so that's always good. And they're usually looking for content, right? For up-to-date content, the newest content. So that's a service to them. We're also reaching out to RV campground owners. So RV campgrounds across the nation are figuring out, hey, yes, people like to rent RVs, but they also really like to rent tiny homes. And so on my campground, I could have 4 or 5 or 10 or 20 tiny homes, and it would be an amazing experience to offer the people that come and vacation here or rent for a few months or whatever that might look like. And so we're reaching out to them and allowing them to see, hey, we've got this business and we'd love to work with you, sort of thing. And we're going to do that through email. Now, long term, like I said, there's even more parts to this. We're not doing it all at the same time because that would be more, not that we couldn't handle it, okay? Because there's always ways to outsource and get things moving all at the same time. But we don't need to just yet. We're testing and we're connecting and we're being really conscious of ROI and making sure that we're getting the biggest bang from our buck at every step of the way, instead of just throwing everything out there and just not knowing where that came from, where the positive stuff came from or the negative stuff came from. We've got to be able to track this. We've got to know what works, what doesn't, and track our ROI, return on investment, right? So important. Okay. And so then once we take care of these influencer connections, we're going to move on to a couple other things. We're going to get that website up and running, and that's going to bring in just by default some search engine results, search engine optimization in there. And so then we've got people coming in through social media, influencers, word of mouth, a little bit of SEO. They've got a really great place to go in the website, that hub of our online marketing presence. We're going to keep them in our circle through email and reaching out to them that way. And we're always going to offer that customer service line, because these are custom built homes. It's not like you can just get online and just pay for it, right? Or just like order one or two of them. They are custom, and that's the brilliance of them, and that's the selling point of them to our ideal client. So they are going to need that custom customer service line. That's always going to be there. And I imagine that's always going to be the step right before they purchase. And so all of the stuff we do online and offline still has to point right over to that customer service line. And that customer service line has to do a little bit of the lifting to sell the home. But what's great is that because once you hit the customer service line, you've learned so much at this point about our company that the customer service line becomes so much simpler, right? They already like you. They're probably really super close to trusting you. And now they just have to go through the process of making sure that you're going to be able to build the home that you say you're going to build. And you can do that through your customer service line. So that's what we've got. That's the behind the scenes look of what we've got going on for Crain Custom Built Tiny Homes. I love this project. I love all my projects, but this project is just so much fun, and I wanted to bring you in and show you what's going on with this one. So do me a favor, go on over to Crain Tiny Homes on Facebook. Check it out. If you're interested in like, well, how is Brittany doing this? What is she actually posting? And it's not just me either at this point. We've got some other people on the team doing this as well. But how's she doing that? Like the page if you want to. Just check it out. And let me know what you think. If you have any questions, like, well, why'd you do it then? Why do they post it this time? Ask any kinds of questions that you have about that. Go check it out. And finally, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If what I've explained to you in this video, at whatever point of business you're at, if this has kind of tripped a little trigger thinking, I might need some help with this stuff, I am so grateful anytime anyone requests a jam session with me. The jam session is a 30-minute hop on the phone, or if we can't hop on the phone, we hop on a Zoom call or Skype or something like that. We hop on the phone, we talk for 30 minutes, we discuss your business, we discuss what you're trying to do with it, and we try to figure out, okay, what would a strategy be like to grow this business? What could we do with its marketing to make it great and to make it what you envision it to be? And so that's what the jam session is for. Those are usually my absolute highlights of the week, because I just love connecting with you guys. I love connecting with business owners and or CEOs or people that are in the marketing department for a business, and just hashing it out. Like, let's figure this stuff out. Let's make this business at whatever stage, whether it's one business completely switching over into a totally new business like Crain, or it's a brand new business, or it's a business that's been chugging along and you're just ready for more. You're ready for to take it to that next level. That's what I'm here for. That's what I do every single day. Not every project looks like this. Like I said, this is all what we do at Jam is all custom. So it all depends on who your ideal client is and what you're trying to do with your business, what you're selling, how you sell it, all that stuff. We get in there, we jam about it, and we figure it out. So if that's something you're looking for, jammarketinggroup.co/request-jam-session, and find me. I'd love to speak with you. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was semi-entertaining and kind of informative if you're just kind of wondering how to do this stuff, maybe learn a little bit. So again, thank you so much. Have an awesome day.